Good morning, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. We're at 1901 Southeast 177th Avenue here in Portland. Located at the right side of the home. That's as you face the house from the street, or face the front of the home from the street. And we are just on the backyard side of the fence. Right as you go through the gate, there's your cleanout. It's right in the middle of the gravel kind of walking path here. I'm going to check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Water's running. We're going to zero out once we get to the base of the cleanout, and off we go. And if this ever becomes something, it's not ideally located because it's in the path. You can see how you're going to have a square knob sticking up there to potentially trip on. If you do ever hide this thing, what I highly recommend you do is directly in line with it on the foundation wall, just put a little mark. That way you know exactly where to come out here and dig and look for it. They also do make slotted caps that are flat, so you can help smooth that out so it's less of a tripping hazard. Anyway, zeroed out there, water's running, off we go. Just turned away from the house, straightened out, now we're shooting toward the road. Alright, coming up on a spot here with some standing water in it. And we'll take a look at these on the way out and the line's fully drained. You've got a half decent belly there though. I've only got a sink running. By the time we drain the line out here, you are still going to have, probably a solid 1.5 inches worth of standing water, if not more. So that one right there, I can pretty much tell you already, it's going to be one I recommend a repair on. It's quite lengthy too. We're still submerged. So, and in general, I've done almost 25,000 sewer scopes at this point in my career. Done a lot of drain cleaning. The average belly that we see in a line, really not a terribly concerning thing. When you get a length of pipe that long, though, with that much water in it, it's a lot of resistance that debris has to fight its way through. It's the solids that have the problem. Water doesn't have an issue there, but when any solids coming down line have to fight through that many feet of pipe with water in it, that's where you really do get your potential for blockages to happen. And you can also tell by the buildup in there, the amount of buildup that's getting hung up in that area. We just transitioned there to 4-inch 3034 PVC. For some reason that does not get repaired, and I mean, unless something's magical about it, it drains out to hardly anything. If for some reason that does not get fixed, at the very least I would recommend the line get cleaned to remove any buildup from that area, which will just help reduce the risk of blockages. And if you are for some reason going to live with that thing and not fix it, you want to be extra nice to the sewer line. I tell people to treat your line basically like a septic system. Folded toilet paper only, ideally not the fancy stuff that's really thick. You want everything going down this line to be stuff that easily breaks down. There is not a single solid you put down this line that will not get hung up in that belly. Everything will stop there and then depend on other water running behind it to move it on. Mostly it's going to be moving under a combination of multiple other fixtures running, sinks, showers, things like that, and also disintegration. That's not ideally how you want your line to function. Anyway, here's the main here. We're going to go locate that real quick, and then we'll pull back, take a second look at things. We'll get that located and marked. All right, located the camera head. I get a very weak signal in the street, but it looks like the line crosses from, as it comes up the right side of the house, crosses into the driveway, and it looks like it turns and shoots off to the street somewhere around the left side edge of the driveway. It's a very deep line. My signal doesn't come in super great, but that's when I turn around and look back at the house, I was lining up pretty well with the left side part of the driveway. Now this line's actually got a curb stamp. You can see right where the line crosses the curb. If you look just to the left of the driveway, right where the driveway meets the street, you'll see an S stamped in the curb. That's right where the line crosses. So if it's not running, it's either running just barely to the left of the driveway, and I mean barely, or like right underneath the left side edge. So I'll have a rough diagram on the report. I don't locate every inch of the sewer line, not unless there's repairs to deal with, but gives you a pretty good idea as to where things are. All the PVC pipe there's looking good. I'm hoping I think much of this bellied area, I'm hoping, is all under dirt and gravel. We're going to find out here in just a second, which makes that repair a lot easier and a lot less costly. So you can kind of see how the buildup is here. It's very light buildup. This looks pretty darn clean right here. So this is kind of just giving you an example of the difference between a bellied area. You can see how you start getting thick buildup ridges on the right side of the and left side of the flow line there. Oh, my dang foot counter just wigged out on me for some reason. It was right about at 30 feet, if I recall, on the foot counter there where we popped out of this thing. 31 feet, if I believe. Yeah, we still have a little bit right here. And you've got to get it to the there we go. So it's right here where the belly finally dissipates. I'll zero out and do it in reverse. In fact, it's probably more like 32 to 33 feet. Yeah, that thing's stretched out there a little bit further. It is under the driveway. In fact, it's well into it. Probably a good 10 feet in from that right side edge of the driveway. About 2 foot 7 inches deep, so quite a shallow line there. That part is nice. That saves money in a repair cost, not having to do shoring and things like that. But you know, even though the belly is minor by this point, if you have to fix all of it or you won't fix it at all. So you've got to at least take it to that point there. Repair guys will figure out how to do that. And then here you're up over an inch, so it does taper off a bit, but yeah. Hopefully they can repair that close to the dimensions of the belly. You know, there are times where when you've got tight tolerances to work with, again, the repair fellows will have to figure out exactly how to do it, but for instance, sometimes a belly that's 20 feet long requires a 30-foot section of pipe be redone. You got to chase the grade down. But I'm hoping that they can keep it reasonably within these dimensions here. I'm marking with white paint. You'll see a white X in the driveway, about 2 foot 7 inches there, and I've marked that on the ground. All right, I put a white X here. Right now we're sitting 8 feet or so out from the clean out, approximately, maybe a little more than that. 2 foot 4 inches deep there. Yeah, the first part of the belly here has got, I mean, you're probably around 2 inches of standing water. It's quite out of grade. Alrighty. Now, just from an approximation standpoint, you know, the belly here is running from about, I can go back and review the video, but it's from about 10 feet to about 33 feet approximately. You've got at least about a 20, 22, 23 foot section of pipe there. And I do recommend that get repaired. Again, if for some reason it does not get fixed, I would certainly recommend the line be cleaned. You know, just understand, that's one of those bellies, it's not one that kind of rides on the fence, you know, like a little 5-foot belly with, you know, barely an inch of water in it. That is one that's going to come back up when you sell the house every time, unfortunately. And it's not just from that standpoint. I don't recommend repairs on stuff for that nonsense reason. This is one that can legitimately cause a problem. So anyway, after the line is repaired, highly recommend you rescope the line to check the work. It's very important to do that. And when you want to do your rescope to check that, the trench needs to be closed. Otherwise, everything you're looking at is in theory until you put weight on top of the line. So it starts right here, right about where the gas meter is. So approximately, that's about 10 feet from the clean out. And then it extends out into the driveway there. But as far as the driveway part of things goes, to do this correctly so you ensure you don't end up with a belly all over again, the line needs to be buried. Everything needs to be compacted, basically right up ready till you are going to pour concrete. That way that there's a load on top of the line across that whole section. If everything's looking good at that point, that's where you know you're safe to go and pour concrete. You just don't want to do this stuff after that's all been buttoned up and find out it bellied out on you again because it didn't get compacted correctly or for whatever reason. and have to redo it. So make sure it happens at that point. Otherwise, the rest of the line here is in good condition, has good flow, and is functioning properly at this time.